Allegedly, Dave, give me one point that is really important to you and why you're doing this.
The one point that's really important to me is actually getting people to take that one step to actually look at any part of this. Just take that step to look, because most people will not actually take 5 minutes out of their day to go, I wonder if there's another side to this. Because essentially they're getting one side presented to them, by the media relentlessly. This is the way it is. This is the way it is. This is the way it is. Okay, but anybody who takes a few minutes to go, I wonder if there's another side. Let me have a look. Then they start to uncover the lies, the sort of contradictions and everything, and then that whole narrative just falls apart.
Right. And if people were to do one thing, what would you say? Advise them to do?
Just ask questions. That's it. Simple. Ask a question. They tell you something on the news. Say, is that right? Let me see if I can find out if that's right. And that's all it takes. You start looking. They give you a figure for death rates, yeah, and or they say, oh, the cases are rising. Oh, okay, cases are rising. Does that translate into deaths? Let me have a look, see how many deaths are going on. Gasp, shock, horror, hardly any, 0. So what's the case? And you're looking, okay, positive tests. Okay, let's have a look at the tests. You find out about the PCR test and you realise it's bullshit. So then you realise that the whole thing falls apart again.
Right. Can you also say something about the fact they're no longer talking about COVID-19, they're talking about coronavirus within the testing?
Well, that's interesting because, it started off as coronavirus, then it started to change to COVID-19, and as you say, it's now shifting very subtly back to coronavirus. Because we've all got coronaviruses. Yeah, you get a coronavirus every year when you have a cold or the flu or anything. Yeah, these things are part of you. You have coronaviruses inside you. Yeah, so as soon as they turn this so-called pandemic into a coronavirus pandemic, okay, then literally every year people are going to have coronavirus and it's all terrible and you're all going to die. Just like they've demonised the measles now, yeah? The young mothers now are terrified of their children getting measles. Whereas when I was young, we would get it all the time. You'd have the measles, you'd feel woozy for a couple of days, and you'd have ice cream afterwards, And it wasn't this dread disease. But now they've turned it in the minds of people into a killer disease that you need a MMR vaccine for. No, they're going to do the same thing with coronavirus. Everyone's going to get it because everybody has it, right? And now it's a ongoing, continuous pandemic, and that's what they'll do. They'll just spin it out forever.
Thanks, Dave.
Can I just ask?
Yeah.
What do you think is the biggest hurdle we face in this whole kind of situation? What's the biggest hurdle? Is it trying to wake the public up? Is it trying to take down the government? Is it trying to stop the pharma companies? What in your opinion, what's the biggest hurdle?
Well, it's what I've just said. Actually, it's actually getting the public to wake up to the fact that they're being lied to, and all it takes, as I said, is to take the time to actually ask a question and look for yourself. As Morpheus said, you can't tell somebody what the Matrix is. They have to see it for themselves.
Exactly. I mean, that's a great analogy, and that's fantastic. So based on that, why do you think they cannot see it? How will they see it now?
This is why it's so difficult to wake people up. Okay, hypnosis is real. It's a real thing. It's not just a party trick. Yeah, hypnosis is real. A hypnotist can, with a set of words and the way he speaks, can convince you that an onion is an apple, right? And if you're hypnotized, you're going to bite into that onion and think, delicious apple, yeah? And if I came up and said, dude, that's an onion, right? No, he's going to go, no, it's an apple, it's delicious, yeah? But what you can do is kind of bypass their hypnotized mind and say, what colour is that apple? And he'll look and, he's not been hypnotised not to see the colour. It's like, okay, it's brown. How many brown apples have you seen? Bloody hell, it's an onion,
Nice.
Again, it's getting them to take that step to go, and actually look for themselves. And when they do, they break the spell.
Yeah.
And it is a spell. This is why they've given us television.
Yeah.
They literally forced television on everybody.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, when televisions were very, very, very expensive, nobody could afford one. What did they do? They rented televisions out to people for free, for next to nothing.
A pound in the slot. I remember them. Yeah.
That's it. So everybody got a television, so everybody could get the same programming.
Yeah. And I always say that, well, it's quite often here that it's he who controls the money controls the people, and I disagree with that myself. Actually, I think he who controls the information controls the people.
Information, yes.
Because I think information is the true power in that sense, as opposed to not knowledge, but information to certainly hypnotise the people.
Yeah,
exactly. You know.
Well, here's the thing. I've gone into language. Okay, there's a video I've done called the language of creation. If you get
we'll link to that in the Africa. Is it on?
It's on YouTube on my channel.
Okay.
So. Essentially, Greek philosophy, going back into history, Greek philosophy has been about how to program the left-hand side of your brain so that you live in the left-hand side of your brain. So they literally make knowing something a question of logical deduction. So you're given a set of facts, and then you're given a story to link those facts, and now you know something. That's not the right way of knowing something. The right way of knowing something is intuition, knowing how, without knowing how you know it. Right? That's real knowing. But they've taken us away from intuition and given us logical deduction. And now, with that logical deduction process as our way of knowing things, they can program that just with words.
So, do you think the two sides are skewed or intertwined, or do you think
it's? What do you mean two sides?
So the logic and the intuition. Do you think?
No. If you think about our education system, it's all about programming the left-hand side of your brain.
Yeah.
There's no drama, arts, dance, painting in schools anymore.
So essentially, in school, we're just being prepared for society.
You're being prepared to think in a certain way rather than go with the feeling and understanding and knowing something. The original language of mankind was an intuitive language. You knew. Have you got time for me to give you a little demonstration?
We got all the time in the world, honestly.
Okay.
This is important.
Okay, so here's the difference between English and the original language, which was called Paleo-Hebrew. Okay? So I'm going to use you as like an experiment here.
Good.
Okay. So I'm going to describe a film to you in English, and you have to guess what the film is. Okay? A man on the autistic spectrum recounts his life to strangers. What's the film?
The Rain Man.
Rain Man. Okay. So what happened there is in the left-hand side of your brain, you were listening to the sounds I was making.
Yeah.
You were fetching the meanings of those sounds. Yeah. And comparing them to a list of films you'd seen, and you guessed. You had to make a guess of what film it was, and you guessed Rain Man.
Yeah.
Okay. So Paleo-Hebrew is a language of pictures. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe the same film, but in pictures. Okay. So man running. So emojis. Okay. Man running. A few trees. A park bench. A box of chocolates, a shrimp, and a boat. So what happened there, right, because you know what film it is.
Forrest Gump.
Gump. Right, so what happened there is, when I was describing the pictures, your left-hand side of your brain could not analyse them. It was just set pictures. You can't go, oh yeah, that means that. No, it was, your left-hand side of your brain was cut out of the process, okay? You were listening to or imagining the pictures, and all of a sudden you knew what the film was.
Instinctively.
You didn't have to guess. It was intuitive. You knew what the film was.
Because the smile came on my face, because I knew.
I knew as soon as you smiled, you're like, I knew you knew. Yeah.
So do you think? Okay, I'm going to just throw this out there.
Yeah.
Do you think words are now somebody else's intellectual property? So they've been hijacked as in
the whole
language.
language has been hijacked.
Yeah.
It was the modern English, right, was invented 500 years ago when this bloodline that controls everything right now.
Yeah.
That's when they came back into power, and they created things like the English language, the round Earth, the ball Earth.
Yep.
They created all these lies that we're living through now. They created it when they came into power, and what we're seeing right now is the end of their blessing. It's the end of their reign as such. And their reign is crumbling right now. And they're desperately trying to throw the kitchen sink into this one because this is their last attempt.
Yes, and it is very desperate. I mean, some of the things they're doing, which kind of links back into how people don't see it, because some of the things they're doing is quite desperate.
Yeah.
Some of the these lockdown measures, based on, like you say, based on cases. I mean, it's just desperation and how people are not seeing through it. So,
well, they're hoping that people are already so brainwashed, so dumbed down, that they're just going to accept it. But that's not quite, you know, what happened here today is showing you that's not what's happening now.
And around the world, so, you know,
Around the world.
and we can't keep being labelled as conspiracy theorists, because not all of these people from all these different demographics, all these walks of life, all these cultures, they can't be all conspiracy theorists.
No, and you know what? If they didn't have complete control of the media, which they have, we would be shocked how many people feel the same way as us.
Yeah.
Because they've got the media under their control, they can hide that. You know, when I was in America, there was like 1.2 million people marched on Washington to protest the Iraq War. Okay.
Yep. I think it was close in Hyde Park. I think it was close to 1 million. Was it not in Hyde Park or?
What, at the same time, something like that. But what I saw, because I was in America at the time, what I saw on the media was they waited until most of the march had gone past, and they put their cameras on the last stragglers. And I said, yes, a few thousand people turned up in Washington, nothing to see here, blah, 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 right? So anybody who just watches the media, they would
have a
thought,
blurred perception of the reality.
There's a few people and a few nutters, but if they saw 1 million people, they would have gone, wow. And the next event, there would have been 4 million people there. Yeah, this is what they have to stop. So they make sure they close down any dissenting voices, so that most people don't get to hear them.
Yeah, brilliant. Allegedly, Dave, thank you very much. I appreciate your time and your knowledge. Actually, it's fascinating. We could probably listen to you all day. I'm sure we'll connect again, hopefully, and get some more words from you.
Not a problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Excellent.